Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Now, I'm excited to announce that the next part of the Black Myth Wukong story explained beyond the gameplay series, Chapter 5, is finally here. Happy watching and let me know what you think! The Destined One and Boggy arrive at the fifth location, the Flaming Mountains. In the midst of their journey to eliminate the Yaoguai, they hear a cry for help, and the voice turns out to belong to a fox tied upside down. Not long after, two demons appear, named Quick as Fire and Fast as Wind. Despite their combined attack, the Destined One still prevails in the fight. He rescues the fox, who then reveals her human form, a woman named Ping Ping. Ping Ping shares a bit about her family. She is the daughter of the Bull King and a fox. However, her mother, the fox, died at the hands of Baji when she tried to devour the Temps monk. Since then, she has lived with the Bull King and Rakshasi, the Bull King's new wife. Ping Ping also has a brother named Red Boy, whom she considers a good child. But something happened, and after returning from the Guanyan temple, his personality suddenly changed drastically. Now, Red Boy plans to stage a coup against the Bull King and wants to take the fifth relic held by his father. This precarious situation leaves Ping Ping with no choice but to seek help. She begs the Destined One to save her family. On the other hand, Baji, who doesn't quite trust Ping Ping, gives a cricket to the Destined One. And then Baji leaves to take care of something, leaving the Destined One alone to help save Ping Ping's family. The Destined One follows Ping Ping's directions to reach Rakshasi's residence, hoping Rakshasi will be willing to lend her fan so they can use it to defeat Red Boy. While the Destined One searches for Rakshasi's residence, Ping Ping will go look for Rakshasi's trusted confidant to further convince. Successfully defeating two guardians of Rakshasi's residence named Misty Cloud and Cloudy Mist, the Destined One finally reaches Rakshasi's dwelling. At that moment, he transforms into a cricket and sees Ping Ping trying to persuade Rakshasi to lend her fan. She has brought Rakshasi's trusted confidant, who is the keeper of Flaming Mountain. Unfortunately, no matter how much Ping Ping pleads, Rakshasi remains firm in her refusal to lend her fan. And surprisingly, instead of helping Ping Ping, the keeper of Flaming Mountain urges Rakshasi to flee with him before what he fears happens: the return of Wukong. He even uses his power to drive Ping Ping away, but even more surprisingly, as he's about to take Rakshasi's hand,
也很怀念宫里的日子。
这是何物？
猪蹄还能是什么？再不醒醒，你要扑上来啃一口了！
杀我也，气杀我也！好个阿杂东西，竟敢化作师姐模样炸我！
哎，老朋友，见什么外呢？
it's revealed that it's not Rakshasi's, but Baji in disguise. The Destined One reveals himself as well, and together, they defeat the Keeper of Flaming Mountain and the Yin-Yang Fish. Convinced that disaster is imminent, the Keeper of Flaming Mountain disappears. Continuing his journey, the Destined One meets Ping Ping again, who has managed to obtain the fan. Without wasting much time, Ping Ping immediately uses the fan to extinguish the flames blocking their path. But unfortunately, Baji, who is trying to hold back a giant iron ball, ends up falling from a great height. Ping Ping is confident that Baji is strong enough to survive, and since their time is running out given the Bull King's worsening condition, the two immediately go to see the Bull King. Ping Ping asks her father to give the fifth relic to the Destined One, but unexpectedly, the Bull King refuses to give the relic and says that the Ping Ping he sees is not his daughter. Unable to deny it, Ping Ping's form shifts to Red Boy. Apparently, Red Boy had been disguised as Ping Ping from the beginning so he could deceive the Destined One in hopes of stealing the 5th relic from the Bull King. The fan he carried was also part of his deception. The Bull King was able to see through this disguise because the respect Red Boy showed him felt very fake.
Now, in his true form,
Red Boy intends to kill the Destined One and the Bull King. Red Boy's hatred for the Destined One actually stems from his past encounter with Wukong. At that time, Wukong wanted to borrow Rickshace's fan, but because Red Boy kept obstructing him, Wukong beat him up, having lost the duel. Red Boy now wants to take revenge on Wukong by killing the Destined One. But his desire for revenge fails once again, as the Destined One manages to defeat him. After warning about Red Boy's potential resurrection, the Bull King finally pulls the 5th relic out of his stomach. He asks the Destined One not to put too much faith in destiny and the like, reminding him that the Destined One always has choices in life. Unfortunately, before it reaches the Destined One's hand, the relic is snatched by the still surviving Red Boy. Red Boy uses a talisman to fake his death, and without hesitation, he swallows the relic, instantly giving birth to the still surviving Yaksha King. Baji arrives to help the Destined One. The Yaksha King comes from a race that strongly opposed the Buddha, and for that reason, his entire race was annihilated by the Buddha. However, during that annihilation, a deity named Tishanglo Jan saved the Yaksha King's soul and placed it inside Rekshasi, before asking Rekshasi to drink from the river of rebirth. From there, Red Boy was born, the one who has now transformed into the Yaksha King. Despite the Yaksha King briefly gaining the upper hand in the fight, the Destined One eventually defeats him. As Baji is about to kill the Yaksha King, the real Rekshasi arrives to stop him before apologizing for her son's actions and offering her fan as an apology. Rekshasi truly loves her son, but on the other hand, unable to bear the shame of having to kneel before the Destined One, the Yaksha King ends his own life. The Destined One obtains the 5th relic, Wukong's grieving body. Chapter 5 concludes with an animation about the friendship between the Bull King and Wukong, as well as a major revelation. We are shown a continuation of the prologue, where ultimately, despite his incredible power, Wukong is still unable to face the entire heavenly army sent to subdue him. The Bull King, who was on the heavenly side at that time, immediately restrains Wukong's already weakened body. It is here that he remembers his friendship with Wukong. Hundreds of years ago, the Bull King and Wukong were sworn brothers, and together, they rebelled against heaven, leading to Wukong's first encounter with Along Shen. This rebellion ultimately failed, and as punishment, Wukong was imprisoned under Five Finger Mountain for 500 years. Later, Wukong was tasked with guiding the Thames monk on his journey to the west to retrieve the scriptures. In the middle of this journey, their path was blocked by fire. To overcome this, Wukong went to the Bull King to borrow Rishisi's fan. Red Boy tried to stop him, creating a great conflict between Wukong and the Bull King's family, a conflict that ended in the Bull King's family falling apart. Red Boy became obsessed with taking revenge on Wukong and the Buddha. One of the Bull King's concubines died at Buji's hands, and the Bull King himself suffered severe bleeding after being defeated by Wukong with the help of immortals. Only after the journey to the west was completed and Wukong received his ascension to Buddhahood did he refuse to live in the heavenly court, as told in the prologue. The Bull King was one of the 5 heavenly warriors led by Erlong Shen who were tasked with subduing Wukong. After Wukong fell and was slammed into the mountain, he actually survived and fought against the heavenly army, but he was defeated. Before taking his last breath, Wukong told the Bull King that ultimately, the heavenly court would still view them as Yao Guai, who could only cause trouble. As long as he lived, he would always be considered a lawbreaker.
我一直以为攒了功德，入了仙班，他们就会放过我，也会放过你们。原来我这样的人，只怕独自活着便是罪过。张兄，照顾好妻儿。 我死后画的东西，碰不得。
It is also revealed here that Wukong did not break his body into 6 relics. Rather, it was Erlang Shen who did it. Oolong distributed 5 relics to the 5 heavenly warriors who helped him subdue Wukong. Black Bear received the eye relic, Yellow Wind Sage received the ear relic, Yellowbrow received the nose relic, Daoist Master received the tongue relic, and Bull King received the body relic. Well, that's all for now. Give a like and subscribe to support me. See you on next video from Beyond the Gameplay.